Good morning. It is Wednesday, July 13th. I'm going to see what's happening in the garden a month since the last update. In the greenhouse, I still have cauliflower and broccoli growing. Started some tomato seeds for fall tomatoes, Brussels sprouts, and a few more zucchinis and squash that I haven't put out yet in the garden. View from the greenhouse. Messy flower section. This is where I've added in some squash in between the green beans and amaranth. Been checking the squash every day for squash bugs. So far they haven't found them. I kill one or two in each squash section per day. Put some beets in here by the gate with the chamomile. And there we lost a squash. Rest in peace. But then we have a few more that have made it. Still more collards ripping out and giving to the chickens. Extra trellis that I put cherry tomatoes and cucumbers on. None of my cucumbers are happy this year. Need to start another batch. A friend gave me some white sweet potatoes, so that's what I've put in here. Never grown those before or tasted them. These are our cherry tomatoes. Our brandywines. Just took the flowers' heads off the onion. Plantains going to seed, and lavender. Parsley and sage. Very sad cucumber plants over there. I think the squash bugs found them. This is the Golden Jubilee section of tomatoes. Beefsteak. Cucumbers. It's the tree stump my husband left in the wall. If he wants to later, he'll rip it out. Right now it's a good garden seat. More onions. Late summer tomato plants that are just getting going. These are the Dad's Sunset tomato section. More onions that need to pull before the next rain. And these are the Duster tomatoes. Somehow I forgot to plant our dependable Bonnie Best early in the year. So I'm getting those started now to hopefully get some more plain round tomatoes later. I put green beans in between the squash plants on this wall. Kept the plastic in the back to stop any weeds from coming up from the asparagus side into this bed. More tomatoes. 2 cherry tomato plants propped up over here. Just refilled this bed. I need to put irrigation in it for whatever crop's going in there next. It's on my garden plan. Inside, it's a basil growing up amid the marigolds. And corn. I don't know much about corn. I've never grown it myself. I think my husband has in years past, so I'm still learning. Happy pollinator flowers. Peppers. Can you see them? We let our peppers fully ripen before we eat them, before we pick them. There's actually no such thing as a green pepper. A green pepper is just an unripe pepper, in case you didn't know. These are the Roma tomatoes. and they're just getting started. We're gonna find a bunch. There's Roma's. Basil's tucked in between. And I believe these were paprika pepper plants. And also from the friend that gave white sweet potato slips, these are supposed to be purple sweet potato slips. So we'll see how those do. I'm letting the green beans in this section go to seed, so I'm not picking them. I'm going to let them dry on the plants. But I did go ahead and tuck some squash plants in between so they can get big. I'll be ready to spread out once I rip these green bean plants out. Corn from the other side. I'm really not worrying about these two rows right now because they both need to be, this row needs to be built and then filled with compost, and this row needs to be filled. So I'm just not adding any time in here to worry about the weeds too much because they're going to be covered over soon. But I do have some sad cucumber plants there. These are black cherry tomatoes that another friend shared with me. Never tried them before. I left these carrots to go to seed. And the green bean, no, these aren't green beans, these are pinto beans, are making their way up the trellises. Soon they'll cover the whole thing. It'd be really pretty spots. I've put some yellow potatoes in here. A few carrots to go to seed. Although I just learned from Charles Dowding this week, I need a whole bunch of carrots to go to seed to get good genetic diversity. So we'll see if those get me anything worth planting. Probably rip out those plants down there. These were sweet potatoes and green beans. But I'm not going to want the sweet potatoes to take over here once the yellow potatoes start to grow. And look at this. Good watermelon bed. Not good watermelon bed. It was a good bed. Look at all these great watermelon. I don't know if it's because the squash bugs attacked it once I removed my other squash plants. Ugh. It's probably all going to be chicken food. We'll see. We'll see if these hang in there or not. But there's squash bugs among all of it, and I'm not about to spend hours killing every individual one. This is where I took green bean plants out earlier in the week. Left a few to go to seed. And this is where we've got more yellow potatoes. Waiting for this lettuce to go to seed. Empty bed. Strawberries that are spreading their babies everywhere. This squash did not make it, but it looks like there was another seed in the pot, and so it's starting to come up. I appreciate that. More sweet potatoes at the ends of each of the pinto bean rows. We haven't learned to love sweet potatoes yet, but we can grow them really well. So we grow them. Lots more sweet potatoes. And that's it for in here. All of our berry bushes and fruit trees are elsewhere. But hope you find some time to get outdoors and enjoy nature.